Hey guys, I am back again for another book review, and right now I'm going to be reviewing a book that I read maybe a couple months ago. Some of these books are going to be way back in my memory, but I kind of skimmed through this one. I remember what it's about. So this is called Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. When I first was going to read this book, I thought it was not going to be that great of a book, to be quite honest with you. I thought, okay, I'm going to know everything. Within the first 50 pages, I was already kind of like, okay, I already know what's going to happen. This book surprised me. I got to the end, and the ending I did not see coming. There was a major twist at the end. This book, if you are like me and think you're a little smarty pants, you are going to think you know what's going to happen in this book. The whole book you're going to be reading it and you're going to be like, I know that's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. But then when this other thing happens, you're just like, what? What? Watson, you just blew my mind? Like, you blew my mind. I need to adjust myself here. So, anyways, to give you a brief synopsis of the book, this book is about Christine, and Christine was in an accident about 20 years prior to when this book takes place, and it basically destroyed her memory. She can't remember anything after the age of about 22, 23, and so every morning when she wakes up, she does not remember anything. Every time she goes to sleep, she forgets everything she learned about the day before. So she has been married to the same man, Ben, for 15 years, I believe. And she doesn't remember anything about her life. And so she starts seeing a therapist. But the interesting thing is, her husband doesn't know she's seeing this therapist. Her husband doesn't want her to get help. But she still continues to see this therapist, and she starts to keep a journal. And this book is basically her reading her journal to remember what she learned the day before. And then she ends up finding that she starts to remember things gradually, very slowly, but gradually. She starts to remember things, and it's basically how it all ends up. When I first started reading this book, I knew that there was going to end up being something concerning her condition that someone was lying about. I knew that it probably was not an accident that happened. That was probably something else. I guessed who did lie about it. I was right about that. The thing I was not right about is, again, like I said, what happened at the end. It totally caught me off guard. I tell you guys, if you want a book that's going to blow your mind, really blow your mind, I can't even talk about this book because this book blew my mind. And you know what? I usually don't judge covers, but this cover looks like it's going to be not a great book. It looks like it's going to be a decent book, not a great book. But if I had to rate this book, I would give it probably a 4 out of 5 stars. I will say that it is not written that well. It's kind of just written like, it's a book. But like I've said previously, I'm kind of, I guess a book Nazi, as you would say. I'm not very picky about my books, but when I rate my books, I'm very harsh on them. If I give a book a 5 out of 5 stars, that means it was amazing. It's one of my favorites I've ever read. It had amazing writing. It has to basically be perfect across all fronts. If this book had been written better, it would have been a 5 out of 5 stars, just because the plot and the twist at the end is what bumped it up to 4 stars. If that twist had not been there and I had known, or if, I had been right about what I thought I knew this whole book, this book probably would have been like a 2 out of 5. So the twist is that good. The twist at the end is so good that it bumped this from a 2 to a 4. I'm sorry, I said 5 earlier. No, this is a 4 out of 5. So it bumped it from a 2 to a 4, so 2 points, which is a big deal for me. A very big deal. So I would say if you like a thriller, read this book. If you like a mystery, read this book. But also, this has a lot to do with psychosis, and I think this is the 3rd book review I've done now, and honestly, I must seem like a crazy person, because I think the last 2 I did had psychotic people in them, and I wouldn't necessarily say Christine is psychotic, but someone in this book is psychotic. I'm not going to say who is psychotic in this book. There are a few characters. There's her husband, there's her therapist, there's her best friend, etc., etc. I'm not going to say who's crazy in this book. One of them is crazy. I know you're probably automatically going to think it's Christine. You can think that all you want. I'm not going to say who's crazy, but there is someone who's crazy in this book. You figure out that they're probably crazy about 70% of the way through, but you just don't know how crazy they are until you get to the end of the book. So yeah, well, all I gotta say about this book, it's a 4 out of 5. The beginning is a little slow. The beginning is is slow. I want to say like the first 50, 60 pages, you're kind of like dragging yourself through. Sorry about my dogs, by the way. But you're kind of dragging yourself through. But once you get past those 50 or 60 pages, guys, keep going. This book, there was a few times where I just want to set it down and be like, I'm done with this book for today. I don't want to read it anymore. But I was like, no, keep going, keep going. I wanted to prove to myself that I was right. I'm like, I'm so smart. I'm going to be right about this book. And then when it, came to the end, I was just like, holy shit. This book actually blew my mind. This book actually tricked me, which is very hard to do these days. So yeah, go check it out. Like I said, it's very rare that I'll say go right after this video and buy this book. Don't do that. Don't go right after this video. Go buy this book. It's a good twist, but like I said, this is a book that you wait for it to come to your thrift store, or you go to one of the websites that has cheaper books, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there are actually websites out there that have really cheap books, not just Amazon. I use Thrift Books. I actually have never ordered books off there, but if I was to order books that are full price in my my mind, I buy them off of Thrift Books. I've also heard people talk about halfbooks.com and also bookdepository.com, which I believe is international. I think Thrift Books only in America. But yeah, if you can find this book on one of those websites for like $5 or $6 or under 10, if you find this book under $10, that's what I would rate this book as. But don't go out and buy it full price. The writing isn't good enough, but the twist at the end definitely is. Alright, well, thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next, I totally bombed the end of that, but you know what? I'm not going to record a whole new thing just to, just because of the end. So, I will see you in the next video. Probably another book review, because I'm trying to bust a lot of them out today. Alright, have a great day. Bye.